Hello everyone, Joel here. 2026 has been an absolute buffet for us single-player snobs. Today, we are counting down the top 15 new single-player games of 2026 that you can and absolutely should play right now. No waiting, no pre-order nonsense, just pure out-now bangers. Kicking things off, Hideo Kojima finally dropped Death Stranding 2 on PC this past March, and yes, it's just as gloriously unhinged as you'd expect. The social strand system is back to make you feel like the ultimate post-apocalyptic Uber Eats driver, but now you get stylish porter suits and a Quokka hologram. Traversal feels heftier, and dodging BTs still spikes your anxiety to 11. Sure, the narrative is a massive self-indulgent movie that takes hours to actually get going, but honestly, that's exactly the Kojima juice we all signed up for. If you love the first game, this is a solid hiking simulator you can boot up today.
First hit you've had in years.
Sliding smoothly into number 14, Dead as Disco just moonwalked into early access, and man, the vibes are immaculate. Imagine if a neon-drenched beat-em-up had a baby with your Spotify playlist. You play as Charlie Disco, sinking every punch and kick to the music while brawling through AI pop idols. The biggest 2026 update here is the My Music feature, letting you load your own MP3s to auto-generate custom brawls. The difficulty spikes can be brutal if your rhythm sucks, but the staggering amount of fun totally makes up for it. It's an absolute blast of an indie gem that you can jam to right now.
Couldn't get where I am without taking a few hits.
Mainly, they're concerned about your heart.
Moving right along, if you're still mourning Disco Elysium, you need to grab Zero Parades for Dead Spies, which hit PS5 and PC this May. This espionage CRPG puts you in the shoes of Herschel, a burnt-out operative relying on brutal dice rolls. It trades traditional combat for a snappier conditioning system, where your literal thoughts become weapons. The steep learning curve and punishing RNG will occasionally nuke your investigation, which can be deeply frustrating when a bad roll ruins a perfect infiltration. But hey, rolling with those miserable failures is the whole fail-forward point. It's a phenomenal brain-melting experience available right this second.
The old man keeps his eyes on you as he walks forwards.
Long time no speaking, nameless one.
Speaking of anxiety, next up is Subnautica 2, which finally splashed into early access this May. The good news is you get a brand new, terrifying alien ocean to explore. And the better news, they actually added 4-player co-op, so you no longer have to scream alone when a leviathan sneaks up behind you. The new DNA modding mechanic is an awesome touch, letting you genetically tweak your abilities to survive the crushing depths. You will definitely run into some noticeable early access jank and clipping bugs right now, which breaks the immersion a bit. But overall, the core terror of the pitch-black abyss remains perfectly intact.
Hands run red.
Coming in hot at number 11 is IO Interactive's 007 First Light. Released late May on current-gen platforms, this game serves up James Bond's origin story, showing us how the world's most famous spy actually earned his 00 status. Instead of going in guns blazing like a generic shooter, the Hitman devs force you to use bluffs, environmental takedowns, and your tricked-out Q-Watch to hack your way out of trouble. You are heavily restricted from using lethal force, which honestly feels limiting when you just want to run and gun your way out of a botched stealth section. Still, the mechanics feel incredibly rewarding. It's a stylish spy thriller that proves IO Interactive simply never misses. Before we go into the list, I want to give you my recommendation for some of the best deals in instant gaming right now, especially if you're tight on budget. We knew that instant gaming always give us so many crazy deals for your favorite games, like these titles for example. I mean, can you believe these prices? If you love RPGs, there's no way you never heard of these masterpieces, and to think that you can get them under $10 or even $5, it's an absolute steal. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list.
To the new identical dancing craze.
At number 10, LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight just swooped in this May, built from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5. Instead of stuffing 400 random obscure characters into the roster, TT Games narrowed it down to just 7 Bat family members, and honestly, it works wonders. It plays like a blocky love letter to the Arkham series, complete with buttery free-flow combat and a stunning open-world Gotham. The drastically smaller roster is definitely a letdown if you miss the massive unlocks of older LEGO games, making the world feel slightly less chaotic. However, the deeper, unique character abilities totally make up for it. Next up, the Gothic 1 remake finally unlocked the gates to the colony this June. THQ Nordic utilized Unreal Engine 5 to breathe spectacular new life into this 2001 hardcore classic. The handcrafted world is beautifully gritty, and true to form, the NPCs still absolutely do not care about your feelings. The unrestricted exploration is fantastic, but fair warning, the combat retains that nostalgic, clunky European jank that is a seriously tough pill to swallow today. It feels incredibly stiff compared to modern action RPGs. Still, if you want a true hand-holding free RPG experience right now, this remake is an absolute triumph. Keeping the nostalgia train rolling, next up is Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. Releasing this March to celebrate the franchise's 30th anniversary, Crystal Dynamics brought back Kain and Raziel with a massive visual facelift. Finally, they added a proper, modern third-person camera that completely fixes those awful fixed angles from 2003. Let's be real though, the combat loop shows its age horribly, devolving into a repetitive string of simple monster closets that get boring fast. But you're really here for the god-tier voice acting and rich Gothic lore, which hold up flawlessly. It's a must-play piece of gaming history available right now. Grabbing the 7th spot is Monster Hunter Stories 3. Dropped this March on everything, including the brand new Switch 2. This turn-based JRPG spin-off centers around the apocalyptic threat of twin Rathalos. The monster collecting loop of hunting, hatching, and genetically tweaking your team is dangerously addictive. You will absolutely lose sleep trying to min-max your monsties. That being said, the pacing absolutely drags in the mid-game with tedious padding, and the story is pure predictable anime cheese. But honestly, the combat tuning is practically flawless. For JRPG maniacs, this game is a vibrant adventure you can jump into right away.
You did it! Yeah! We did it!
Spooking its way to 2026, Fatal Frame 2 Remake launched in March, and it is downright terrifying. Playing as twins Mio and Mayu, your only defense against vengeful spirits is snapping photos with the revamped camera obscura. The updated graphics make Minakami Village look gorgeous in the worst, most anxiety-inducing way possible. It does undeniably suffer from a dated PS2-era fetch quest structure, forcing you to backtrack through the same spooky hallways far too often. But the suffocating horror atmosphere and that slick new Silent Hill F crossover DLC makes it an incredible thrill ride for horror sickos looking for a scare today.
Let's do this. Take that out right now!
Moving on, we have MENACE, an incredible tactical RPG from the brilliant sadists behind Battle Brothers, which hit early access in February. You lead a futuristic marine strike force, deploying mechs and tanks to pacify procedurally generated planets. Think XCOM mixed with Warhammer, but somehow even more punishing thanks to a deeply complex suppression mechanic. The RNG is undeniably ruthless, and it will absolutely wipe out your favorite squad leader in one turn based on pure bad luck, which can feel incredibly unfair. But that's the brutal charm of overhyped studios. With a massive positive momentum, this tactical sandbox is a masterclass in strategy you can play right now. Flashing up next is Nioh 3. Team Ninja returned in February with a massive bang, taking us to 1622 Edo to follow Tokugawa Takechio. The combat is as deep and satisfying as ever, but the real game changer is the brand new ninja playstyle. It completely scraps traditional stances for aerial-focused ninja tools, and it feels ridiculously fluid. Unfortunately, the new open field level design feels disappointingly empty and padded compared to the tight, masterfully curated corridors of Nioh 2. However, the boss fights remain spectacular and unapologetically punishing. If you crave a mastercore challenge today, this is a no-brainer. Moving up next, we got Crimson Desert, which finally launched this March after what felt like an actual decade of waiting. Pearl Abyss delivered a massive, seamless open world where you play as Cliff, riding dragons, piloting mechs, and beating down enemies with a brutally visceral combat system. The sheer amount of activities, from deep fishing mechanics to running your own Greymane camp, is staggering. The UI, however, is a cluttered, overwhelming mess, and you will definitely suffer through some noticeable frame drops in the more crowded cities. But with the crazy amount of content, this beautiful, chaotic action-adventure is totally worth losing 100 hours of your life to right now. Our next big game is Capcom's elusive Pragmata, which finally landed in our laps this April. This sci-fi action-adventure game was absolutely worth the long-haul wait. Exploring the eerily beautiful environments alongside the android Diana feels completely fresh, especially that mind-blowing stage built to explicitly look like an AI-generated fake New York. The story undeniably goes off the rails, getting bizarrely convoluted and weirdly paced in the third act, making it hard to follow. But the incredibly tight gameplay loop and breathtaking RE engine visuals make it impossible to put down. It's a completely original IP that currently boasts a rock-solid appreciation from players, cementing Capcom's unstoppable winning streak.
Are you alright?
And of course, one of the best single-player game you have to play right now is Resident Evil Requiem. Released this February across all major platforms including the Switch 2, this game brings back a wonderfully older, grumpier Leon S. Kennedy alongside newcomer Grace Ashcroft. Grace brings back the true survival horror dread, while Leon handles the classic action beats. The dual protagonist structure does create some jarring pacing issues as you constantly swap between completely different gameplay styles, but becoming the fastest-selling Resident Evil game in history speaks for itself. The atmosphere is top-notch, balancing terror and action flawlessly. It is an absolute 2026 masterpiece you can boot up today.